once.
Hey, I'm General Grudge, also known as Solon in Overwatch, and welcome to Salty Soldier, Overwatch Apologist. Today I want to take a stand and defend your favorite Overwatch DPS character, Soldier 76, from what some of his half-educated teammates seem to think about him, supposedly being some instant rock-paper-scissors counter to that annoying but talented and always flying agent of death, Pharah. Now, I'm sure it has happened to you all at one time or another. You pop into a competitive match and group up only to be annoyed and assassinated by Pharah up above with her rockets of doom. Then you click tab and see, hey, there's a Soldier 76 amongst you, and you immediately inform him that there is a Pharah on the enemy team and that he needs to do something about her. This is fine and quite reasonable until you find that somehow Pharah hasn't immediately switched in fear at the sight of the soldier and is still in the sky wreaking havoc. Then you start calling out the soldier, instantly blaming him for Pharah's continued existence. But it is time for many of you to understand this cold, hard fact. Soldier 76 is not the total counter to Pharah that you assume he is. The reason that I think many in the Overwatch community have this misconception is because they have very limited understanding and knowledge about the overall game. For example, they may know some tidbits about certain heroes' basic counters and weaknesses, and then they may take that small bit of knowledge, which they have only learned because they half-watched some 5 or 6 minute YouTube video online, and then they mindlessly apply this limited information as gospel, and somehow come to the conclusion that if Soldier 76 exists on their team, then Pharah should instantly faint and fall right out of the sky. Now, it is true that Soldier 76 is quite strong against Pharah, and he can be one of her biggest headaches under the right circumstances. But before you get all toxic and blame him and him alone for her continued persecution of you and the rest of the group, you need to first learn to address the situation and understand all of the facts and accept the possibility that some of the blame may be laying on you and the rest of your team. The first thing you should be aware of is that after Pharah's last, and I feel much needed buff, she now has basically the ability to fly forever. This makes her ability to move away from and above the hit scan DPS on the ground below her better than it has ever been before. And believe it or not, and this may shock some of you, sometimes that person playing Pharah might just be really good. And honestly, they don't have to be that good if they're smart. You see, a smart Pharah, as soon as she starts taking damage from Soldier 76 rifle, immediately begins to back off and or fall behind cover. It will only take 1 or 2 run-ins with the Soldier 76 to teach a Pharah that all she has to do is fall behind a building or some other object just before 76 can finish her off. You see, even after 76's last buff, he still doesn't have the damage to take out a Pharah who's farther than medium distance fast enough all by himself. You see, with Soldier 76 and some other characters like McCree, their damage falls off after a certain distance. Soldier 76 also has the issue that his bullet spread greatly increased after his last buff when he is shooting more than a 5-shot burst at a time. This understandable spread penalty can make it almost impossible to take out a Pharah before she can get away, especially if she is off at a great distance. So unless your teammate just happens to be some Grandmaster Pro player like Seagull or Shatter2K, and let's face it, the vast majority of us are going to be gold or silver players, there's a good chance that Soldier 76 may have trouble with a smart and careful Pharah if he's trying to take her out all by himself. And you see, that's the key here, if he is trying to do this by himself. Remember, Overwatch is supposed to be a team game. Sometimes, unless the Pharah is reasonably close to the soldier, he might need some help from the rest of the team. So here are a few tips for you to help that Soldier 76 counter that pesky Pharah and win the game. First off, and I can't stress this enough, don't be toxic and blame him and just him alone because Pharah might be giving you trouble. I can promise you it won't help his aim at all or the team's morale as a whole. But feel free to spot her and point out where she is. It will help him focus on her if he can, and also help the rest of the team to avoid her to a certain extent. It will also help to understand the Soldier 76 role on your team. He is supposed to be a damage dealer and a finisher. As I explained before, because of distance and damage and the Pharah playing smart, the Soldier 76 is not really a counter to Pharah. His ultimate is. So unless he's some rare, perfect crack shot or some jerk using an aimbot, without his ultimate, he will have a hard time hitting a cunning Pharah. Also make sure to take note if Pharah has a mercy with her or not. If the Soldier 76 has 2 small targets flying in the sky a long distance away, it'll be nearly impossible for him to target and kill them both, especially the Pharah if the mercy is falling and healing her at the same time. You may just have to be patient and wait for him to get his ultimate up so he can harshly punish the Pharah and the Mercy combo with his tactical visor. And this is key. To do this quickly, he needs to focus on his real role. Soldier 76 is best when he's standing with 2 tanks and using his latest damage boost to burn through shields and tank meat in general. And a smart Soldier 76 will concentrate on this important role instead of trying to target a long-distance Pharah that he has little chance of taking out. A smart soldier will try and support his tanks by burning through the health of the enemy tanks and targeting weak or squishy targets that are on the ground supporting those enemy tanks until the Pharah makes a mistake and then gets too close to him. And doing this job will help him get his ultimate much faster, which will help him to easily deal with a Pharah and any Mercy foolish enough to be with her in any circumstance as long as she's still out in the open. You need to realize that your constant complaining can distract him from his real role and keep you from winning the team battle. Winning that team battle on the ground will help you win the match. With that in mind, the Soldier 76 teammates, who are the tanks, are also important to his success when dealing with Pharah. Without his tanks in front and beside him, it can be even more difficult for Soldier 76 to target and destroy Pharah. So when you only have 2 tanks, it is very important for you to understand that tanks, unlike Tracer and Genji, are not flankers. If you are a Reinhardt or some other tank and are not keeping near your teammates to act as aggro to draw attention away from your DPS and healers, and instead you are charging off foolishly into the front lines alone just to die alone, you make it extremely difficult for your Soldier 76 to look up and target the Pharah. Even if a Soldier 76 isn't destroyed or jostled by Junkrat's bombs or leveled by enemy forces on the ground while trying to look up and track Pharah up in the sky, Pharah will hit him with her concussion blast, knocking him around, making it nearly impossible for him to take her out. You see, not only is Soldier 76 squishy, but he's lightweight and he can be knocked around easily by a lot of other factors in play coming from the other team and the environment. And last but certainly not least, if you want to help out your Soldier 76 take out that annoying Pharah, look at your team composition and see if it needs to be changed. Do you have another hit scan character like McCree on DPS? While Soldier is strong against Pharah, a good McCree is a nightmare to her. May can be quite helpful to deal with Pharah as well. And if you're another DPS character like Junkrat or Pharah and see your team is having trouble dealing with the enemy Pharah, you might need to consider changing to a hit scan character as well, further countering Pharah. And let's not forget our support heroes too. Ana is a great healer, but it is important to remember that she also has a hit scan scoped rifle, and while her damage seems small to soldiers, it can be a real boost helping take Pharah out. You see, usually when Soldier is trying to take Pharah out without his ultimate, he's often just a hit or two shy from blowing her away, but 1 or 2 hits from Ana as well can mean all the difference in the world. Oh, and let's not forget Zenyatta. He's such a blessing for any Soldier main. If you are playing a different support and you see your Soldier 76 struggling with finishing off Pharah, switch to Zenyatta and use your Discord on her. Then Soldier can melt her away faster than a Nazi in an Indiana Jones movie. Just make sure that if Pharah is flying around with a Mercy trailing her, to Discord the Mercy instead of the Pharah. Anyway, I hope this argument has helped to destroy the myth that Soldier 76 is some instant and easy counter to an enemy Pharah, and hopefully after seeing this, some of the more ignorant in the community will stop immediately and toxically blaming the Soldier and griefing him if a Pharah on the other team is having, a little success. So, again, I'm General Grudge, and thanks for watching my video. If you have anything extra to add or disagree with, feel free to leave a comment in the section below the video. Also, if you like this video, it'd be cool if you'd take a moment to like and subscribe. So thanks again. Now get out there and melt some Pharahs today.